Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 155. Andrew Eisen here, all by myself. Because Zachary is going to be gone for a few weeks, because he's moving, and that gives us time to figure out what the heck we're going to do, because this will be the last weekend that Hangouts, Google Hangouts, is available to use. It's going away in a few days, so I'll have to find something else to use. Don't know what that will be, but hopefully some analog to Google Hangouts exists. All right. So, what do we want to talk about tonight? We could talk about Matthew's Final Fantasy XIV expansion pack being the best reviewed game of the year, which I did not know that. Uh, because what I find funny is, Matthew, you're the only one I have ever heard mention that game ever. I must be reading all the wrong sites because nobody mentions it at all. Discord plus Twitch, maybe. Uh, Hopefully, we can find something that works the same way that Google Hangout does, in the sense that it automates switching between cameras. Because I'd really hate to have to do that manually. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. So I finished not Lord of the Rise of the Tomb Raider, Lord of the Tomb Raider. Good game, quite liked it. It even actually had some tombs to raid in it, which was nice. Um, Although they were optional. They are literally labeled optional challenge tombs, which is kind of funny because it's like Tomb Raider now with optional tomb raiding. You'd think that would be the focus, but whatever. The game is still fun. Still focuses too heavily on shooty shoot stuff, but still fun games. I'll pick up Challenge of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, at some point. For right now, I actually went back to Monster Hunter World, mainly because there's a 13-year anniversary celebration freebie stuff. If you log in, you get like some goodies, some armor spheres and stuff. So I did that. And while I was in there, I actually played some of the missions that had come out since I stopped playing. One of which is a crossover with the world of The Witcher. Um, and it actually went a lot further than I thought. I thought it would be much like many of the other crossovers, in that they throw you into an arena to beat the snot out of a Baroth or something, and then you get the parts that you can use to craft the Ryu from Street Fighter costume. No, the Witcher is a full-on voice-acted story mode um, mission where Jerry from The Witcher, Geralt, whatever his name is, white-haired guy with the scar, um, he drops into Monster Hunter World and fights a Lichen or something. But the way it's organized is you have to wander around the ancient forest and talk to people, and there's a couple side quests you can find, like rescuing a Puke Puke. Um, it was really cute. It was really well done. I quite liked it. So good on Capcom on doing something pretty cool. Let's see. I also the last thing the last time I played Monster Hunter World, other than the Iceborne demo a couple weeks ago, Devil Joe was the thing that was added, and then I pretty much stopped playing. No, that Kulve Taroth character was added, and I played it once. And at the time, I was doing a series of videos called Leslie and Bob Hunt, which my hunter's name is Leslie and her palico is Bob. So I was doing a series of videos where I had to fight each monster in the game, and I actually recorded one for Kulve Taroth, but it was really boring because that character, that monster fight, is meant for a 16-player, everyone jump the beast and beat the snot out of it. So the video is literally 20 minutes of me hammering on this thing's butt, and then Koltaroth gets bored and walks away. It was a really boring video, so I never bothered editing it. And then I stopped playing Monster Hunter. Since that point, a couple things were added. The Witcher thing, which I played. Leostra was added, which is essentially a recolor of Teostra. Fought her, got my ass kicked. Um, I I went in with like the wrong equipment. Uh, I looked at because I just didn't know what was going on, and I went in there and I got slammed into the ground. I looked at what equipment I had. I had like -15 to fire. I'm like, yeah, that's probably why I died so quickly. Um, I also they have a Final Fantasy quest in there where part one is chasing the little cactus dudes around, and then you fight a Kuyaku that keeps growing because it has some type of magical Final Fantasy crystal. Then the behemoth drops in, and it pounded my butt into the ground. And I actually abandoned that quest because I was like, oh, I'm not spec'd for this. Um, you're supposed to once you hit, I think, Hunter rank 50, you start unlocking the end game monsters, which are the super hard versions of the monsters, and you get augmentations, which you can use to buff your weapons and armor and stuff. I'm Hunter rank like 35. I I beat all the quests, I beat all the side quests, I unlocked all the stuff, I beat all the monsters. I was like, I'm good, I'm done. And Behemoth, that fight actually gives you 9 faints. You can die 9 times instead of only 3. I died like 3 times. I'm like, I'm good. Again, the Behemoth is meant to be fought with a full team. You can solo it. You're not really intended to. Interesting fight though. Am I gonna buy Iceborne? Yes, indeed you do. Any interest in Mario Maker 2? None whatsoever. I like Mario, but I have literally zero interest in paying money to make the game for the publisher. If I'm going to give you money, I demand that the game be made for me. I don't want to make it myself. Now that is just me being silly. Obviously, there's the story mode with the Nintendo made levels. There's a plethora of user made content, but that's just never been my bag. I also don't have Nintendo Online, and my guess is you probably need that to get any of the uh, levels. I think I looked into it because one of the things I was thinking about was getting Mario Maker 2 and playing your levels or levels that you recommended on the charity event. But since it requires a Nintendo Online, screw it. Have I seen the Japanese teaser trailer for the Monster Hunter movie? No. I saw someone on Twitter, someone had a GIF of someone who obviously recorded a teaser in like a theater. So I saw that. I think it was Diablos jumping out of the ground. But I'll wait till the official trailer pops up. That's fine with me. What is this about Google Hangouts going away? Google Hangouts is going away. So, but you can trust that Google Stadia is not going to just go away and you'll lose access to all of the games you paid for, you see. Despite Google's track record of killing services and stuff, I mean, you can trust that Stadia will stick around. I don't know why anyone would be anxious about that. Google wouldn't just say, this isn't making enough money, we're going to pull the plug on it, like it's done for lots of other things. Google Hangouts is ending in a couple of days. I think it's either July 31st or August 31st. I think it's the end of this month. Do I need to disable the app once it's gone? Probably just doesn't work. Jim Sterling did a video on the 106 things that Google shut down. Man, I wouldn't have guessed that many, but geez. Um, okay, so yeah, it's even worse than I thought. Main reason I like Mario Maker 2 is that people can do with Mario Toolkit, but not Mario Design Rules. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, it's neat. I occasionally a video will float by. It's hey, look at this neat level that someone made. I went, oh, that's kind of cool. There's really no desire to play it though. I mean, the story mode I think looks interesting, and but I'm just. Um, let's see. So yeah, Monster Hunter World, still a good game. Still really like it. Some of the post game content is pretty well done. I think I'm probably done with it. I don't think I'm going to grind out Behemoth or Leostra or anything. Probably just wait till Iceborne. Got plenty other things to do. Been working on some videos today. I did two Andrew Eats a thing. Did one debut review. I've got another debut review I'll be doing later tonight, um, and I'll do a haiku review, I believe. So trying to get some content for you guys, even though it's not you know really high production, super scripted stuff. Just some stuff. I mean, I've got a couple people on Patreon who give me money. I want hope they're getting their hope they're getting their hi Brian, hope they're getting their money's worth. Probably gonna have to rethink how I do Patreon, or because when I started Patreon, it was meant to offset the increase in rent that I had 2 years ago, and the idea was if I could supplement the difference, I could get back up to where I was as far as productivity. Even if that happened now, I don't think I'll be able to. I know I will not be able to be as productive as I have been in the past. I just simply do not have the time because Patreon. I only got about $20, which is great. I'm not turning my nose up at that. I'm very thankful to everyone who's supports me on Patreon or sends me a tip via Google Wallet or PayPal, or if you just watch my videos and enjoy them. Uh, so, but still, my rent was a lot more. My cost of living was higher than my salary. So I said, okay, that's not going to do it. I also pretty much lost all of my revenue from YouTube because YouTube seems to be like deliberately making life difficult for smaller creators. Um, I used to make anywhere from I don't know $7 to $20 a month, depending on the month. Now I make approximately $0. No, exactly $0 a month. That's what it is. It's zero through YouTube. Um, every couple of years, I'll once the ad revenue generates $100, they'll pay that out. So every 2 years or so, maybe I'll get $100. So what I decided to do was focus more on my career, and that's what I've been doing the last couple of years. And it's balls starting to roll on that. I actually got a promotion and raise last week before, something like that. Um, Still not making as much as I should, but working on it. But what that means is I just don't have the time to really work on the content that I'm probably known for if you've been following me on YouTube for years. Because 7, 8 years ago, my job had some downtime, so I would be able to write my scripts at work. I'd be waiting on a developer to do something, or I'd be waiting for something to compile or download, and it would take an hour or two. And I'd be like, all right, I'll work on a script. That is no more. That never happens now. Um, uh, I have way more responsibilities now. Uh, so I have no there is no downtime at work anymore. So if I write scripts, it's on my free time, of which I have very, very little. And the little that I have, I normally want to take for myself because I'm very selfish. Um, Google Plus, now Google Hangouts, yet somehow Stadia gets the go, says Jordan. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Normally, I'd read the chat while Zachary is talking, but no Zachary. So, a little bit of news this week. Don't remember if I mentioned this last week, but one thing I thought was interesting was a couple weeks ago, Nintendo announced the Nintendo Switch Lite, which is the portable only version of the Switch. The Joy-Con controllers do not detach, so it's one unit. Does not plug into the TV. The controllers don't come off. It has no HD rumble. It's a portable only system, and it's $100 cheaper. So it's $200 instead of $300. Got a bunch of drawbacks, but it's cheaper. But it also has slightly better battery life than the original Switch. The original Switch was approximated 2.5 to 6.5 hours. The Lite 3 to 7 hours. So you're on average going to squeeze about half an hour more juice out of the Switch Lite. That's nice. But Nintendo seemed to look at that and go, you know what? We'd really honestly prefer you spend $300. We'd as cool as the portable only one is, we'd rather you buy the expensive one. So the new model of Switch has a 4.5 to 9 hour battery in it. um, I just thought that was funny. It's like, oh wait, the cheaper model has a noticeable advantage. What is it? It's battery life, sir. Well, make the expensive one have a better battery. So $100 less for a slightly better battery, or same price for about double the battery. Shrewd, Nintendo. Shrewd. Jordan says, I remember when light meant backlight. Yeah, the Game Boy Light, or what was they had something that, what was the first Game Boy that I remember that the Game Boy actually had an accessory that had a magnifying glass that snapped over the top of the screen and had lights around the rim that shined on it. That was pretty funny. I think the idea was that so you could play it in like the backseat of a car at night, because the original Game Boy was not backlit at all. Um, Matthew says, glad Nintendo's finally dropping the pretense the Switch was always portable first. Yeah, it's interesting. The Switch has always struck me as a portable that hooks up to your television, but Nintendo's always marketed it as a console that is portable. I see why they did, because they still wanted to sell 3DSs, but now that they're not really selling 3DSs much anymore, I guess they can just drop that. But it'll be interesting to see if they do a Switch Pro at some point. Oh, you had that add-on, Matthew? Nice. Chaos says mine is docked 100%. Yeah, the only time I undock my Switch is typically on the Molehill Mountain podcast when I'm demoing something. I reach over and grab it. That's about the only time it comes out of the dock. Because, and I made this joke back in the days of Wii U. Um, why would I have a nice television? Why would I want an inferior experience for the games I'm spending good money on? I just spent $60. Well, I don't spend $60 on anything, but I just spent a good amount of money on a video game. Why would I want to play it on a 6.2-inch screen? 720. I think this one's 720p with little tinny speakers and the crap controllers. When I could play it on a 60-inch high definition television with decent sound and a controller that isn't the worst like the Joy-Cons are. And the answer is, well, sometimes you're on the bus. And my response to that is, I'm not. I'm never on the bus. So, Switch Pro's a guarantee. Okay. Otritsu says the snake light thing or the magnifier. I was thinking of the magnifier, but I remember the snake light too. Matthew says Nintendo has a history of releasing more powerful handheld version. Yeah, if you look at the Switch as a portable, it wouldn't be surprising, right? Because as Matthew just pointed out, they do release better hardware for each portable generation. So Jordan says I want to switch heavy, where it's 60-inch HD TV with giant Joy Cons connected to the side. You have to you have to play it like this. You have to stick your nose pretty much right up to the screen, and you're jiggling the sticks at arm's length. That'd be hilarious. Oh, by the way, I got a new chair. So so my old chair is now in the trash because it was trying to kill me. And this one has a headrest, which is interesting. It's fine. The armrests, which do not go up high enough for. Oh, no, you can kind of see it's right there. They're not as padded as I would like, but oh well. What else is in the news today? Bethesda had the whole QuakeCon thing, and they announced a couple Doom things. One of the big ones was all the Dooms are coming to all the things. And what was funny is, at least on Switch, Doom 1, 2, and 3, according to the article I'm reading, require you to log into Bethesda.net to play them offline. Uh huh. Bethesda actually, whoops, that was the wrong button. Bethesda released a statement saying the Bethesda Net login requirement was included for the Slayers Club to reward members for playing the classic Doom games. The login should be optional. We are working on changing the requirement to optional now. Uh, Show of hands, who believes them? I see no hands. Wouldn't it be creepy if, like, hands poked up behind the couch? Um, I hate to be a cynical jerk, but I don't believe you, Bethesda. I don't believe you at all. Oh, that Bethesda Net login. Oh, that was, damn it, that was supposed to be totally optional. I don't know how that happened. How could that possibly have been missed? Ah, I don't believe you. Doesn't matter what I believe or not, but uh, hmm. In other news, there was a new Death Stranding trailer. This one has director Nicholas Winding Refn, whatever. I have no idea how the man's name is pronounced, but he did Drive, which I don't like, and Neon Demon, which I haven't seen. And this trailer, like most trailers for Death Stranding, showed absolutely no gameplay. It was just a cutscene. And so it bored the hell out of me. It's 2 minutes of a guy who apparently dies every 21 minutes. So he's like, hey, I die every 21 minutes and then I revive. So living life in 21-minute spurts is kind of a pain in the butt. Just have to make sure you get done. If you got to poop, make sure you poop sometime in that 21 minutes because you're going to die at the end of them. So I have a nice collection of short films. I like the idea. It's a provocative idea. What if you lived multiple lives, but they were only 21 minutes long? And his consciousness does it. It's actually more like narcolepsy. Essentially, he just falls asleep every 21 minutes. And I'm sure that sucks. That's limiting. Certainly can't drive anywhere. But again, it's a trailer for a video game, not a short film, not a movie. It's certainly an interesting premise. If it's like, ooh, that's an interesting idea. I would like to see that explored. But this is for a video game. What's the game? I don't know. I'm trusting Kojima, I guess. Um, PlayStation is having the a summer sale right now. and I browsed through whatever's on sale. I'm like, oh hey, Tacoma is on sale, and I'm like, wait, do I own that? And I look through my master list. I'm like, oh, I already have that. Good. I think I got it for free. Always, always check your master list to make sure you don't buy the same games over and over. But I saw one, I don't know, anime looking game. I forget what the name is, but I'm like, what is this? So I watched the trailer for it, and a minute into the trailer, there's been no gameplay. It's just cartoon. And I'm looking at this and I'm asking myself aloud, I say, is this a video game or an anime? Minute and 30 seconds into the trailer, there's still no gameplay. So I shut it off and I looked at some screenshots. I'm like, oh, okay, there actually is a game here. It is a video game. But for crying out loud, publishers, put some of the gameplay in the trailer, because I honestly was questioning whether it was a video game or not. It it looked like an anime, because that was all you were showing, is hand animated cartoon stuff, which is fine. I mean, it looked fine if it was an anime, but I'm browsing the PlayStation store for video games, not anime. Anime video games, great, fine. Ah, Matthew says lack of gameplay in those trailers means I can't give a crap. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it works for a lot of people, but for me, I, nope. It's kind of like movie trailers that don't show anything of the movie. It's just like, usually when they're making a trailer for a movie that they haven't shot yet, they're like, coming next summer, a movie with some guy and some girl, and they do stuff for 90 minutes. It's like, okay. I'm not saying I could make better advertisements than anyone else, but I know it works for me. And if I'm looking at a trailer for a video game and I come away saying, okay, but what's the game? I feel you've failed. Likewise, if I see a trailer for a movie and I come away going, okay, but what is this movie about? I have literally no idea what he, not even the vaguest notion or sense of what the plot or story or idea of this thing is. It's like, okay, there's a guy on a boat with another guy and a third guy, and they're talking. I want to see this. Why? What happens? What's the? You got to give me something. Something. But they give me nothing. So I watched Tuca and Birdie, the first episode. It's one of the, I shot a debut review for it. Because I keep my ear to the ground. I may not hear about Final Fantasy 14 expansion pack, whatever it's called, but I did hear that the show Tuca and Birdie got canceled, so it will forever be only one season. Very sad for the show's fans. So I thought, oh well, that would be a great show to do a debut review for. You know, see what I think. I didn't like it. I hate that. I hate not liking things that other people are so passionate about. And the same thing happened with One Day at a Time, which is a sitcom that actually has, I think, 3 seasons, but was not renewed for a fourth. And its fans were very unhappy about that. So I said, oh, I'll watch the first episode and see what I think. I didn't like it at all. Makes me feel like a jerk. um, Yeah, Tuca and Birdie, I just didn't like at all. I don't like the animation. It's why I didn't watch it in the first place. I don't like the character design and art style of the show. But watching it, I don't like the animation either. I don't like the characters, and most of the humor isn't doing it for me either. So I'm. If you're a fan of the show, I'm sorry that you're not getting any more. I genuinely am. I mean, I'm not. I'm not. I'm certainly not saying, well, it should have been canceled. Good for it being canceled because people who like it are silly. No, not saying that at all. It just doesn't work for me. I didn't like BoJack Horseman either. Although that show, I at least recognized the. It's actually pretty brilliantly done. It's very well written. It's very smart. I admired it. I just didn't like it because BoJack Horseman, the character himself, is just loathsome. Tuca and Birdie aren't loathsome. They're just they just suck as people. I mean, they're not loathsome. They just I don't like either of them. They're not people I'd want to hang out with. Either of them. They both suck as people. Again, they're not horrible people like BoJack Horseman. But even so, I watched BoJack Horseman, and I actually watched like I think the first 8 episodes of the season one, and then I just said, no, just can't do it. Can't stand BoJack Horseman. I think that show for me, and I want to be clear, for me, would have worked better if the story was told from the perspective of someone else, anyone else other than BoJack Horseman. Like maybe, I think her name's Diane, the ghostwriter who's writing his memoir. If the show was about her and her interactions with BoJack and Mister Peanut Butter and whoever else was in the show, I think that probably would have worked better for me. I mean, it's kind of like what's the wrestling show? Glow. I really liked Glow, and hey, season three's come out soon, so yay! But the Mark Maron, the manager guy, he is just a scumbag. But he's not the star of the show. The show's not about him. It's not from his perspective. Um, I think if it was, I'd probably have the same problem I have with BoJack Horseman. So, did I ever watch Chuck? No, I did not. I've heard of it. I'm vaguely familiar with what the show's about, but no, I've never seen it. I'm not much of a TV guy, honestly. Um, I have little time to actually watch movies. So TV shows, I'm like, oh god, there's 50 hours of this thing. Um, but no, I never. I heard it was cute. Heard a lot of people liked it, but no, I've never seen it. Um, so I'm gonna do a debut review of The Boys. I think it's called a new Amazon show. Um, which is I've not read the comic that it's based on. But and I know very little about it other than it's apparently gory, which I like gore. So, yay. DC Universe, I think, has the new Harley Quinn show, which I'd like to watch, but I don't have DC Universe. Maybe I'll look in to see if they have a free trial because I hear Doom Patrol is really good. And I'd like to see the Harley Quinn show. Um, I read the back when the show was announced, they released a um, character sheet for the show saying, starring Harley Quinn. She's Harley Quinn. You know who Harley Quinn is. The Joker. You know who the Joker is. We don't need to write anything here. And that listed some other characters. One of them was apparently a villain who got frustrated with Wonder Woman and called her the C word in public with a bunch of people standing around and like television cameras and live TV. And he's just been ostracized from polite society and impolite society. I forget the character's name, but I just love the idea that this villain loses his cool and uses a really naughty word. And everyone just shuns them, bad guys, good guys and bad guys alike. That's a really funny idea to me. That's the character I'm most looking forward to in that show. Um, Watching the trailer that came out during Comic-Con, um, my concern is that there may be too much cursing in it, and I don't mind cursing, but it came off as gratuitous. It came off as we can curse, so we're gonna curse. Uh, Tuca and Birdie is kind of the same way. It's like we can show boobs, so we're gonna show boobs. Even the buildings have boobs. Okay, but why? Is that supposed to be funny? I don't know. I watched a decent amount of anime, and a lot of uh, the makers of anime seem to think boobs and other body parts is a lot funnier than I do. I just don't find boobs funny. Just in and of themselves. Look, boobs, now laugh. It's like saying, look, a brick, laugh. It's a brick. Yes, and it's right there where a brick is not supposed to be. So it's funny, right? No, it's not. But there's a brick in a fruit bowl. You'd never see a brick in a fruit bowl, so it's funny. Maybe for some. I've got a weird sense of humor, so yeah, I don't know. Chuck's on Amazon streaming service. Okay. Did I hear AT&T has revealed HBO Max, which includes all the AT&T? Is ATT AT&T, or is that an abbreviation for something else? Uh, but I do know that HBO Max is. I heard about it, and it was confusing as to what it actually included. But it's weird to me that we have all the Crunchyroll stuff. Crunchyroll's free. That's not much of a selling point. The stuff that you can watch for free elsewhere, you can pay to watch with us. What? Now, granted, I imagine without ads and in better resolution, so you know, I mean, it's not completely worthless. But no, Jordan, you missed nothing important. AT&T. AT&T makes shows. Well, they own stuff, so yeah, okay. Yeah, I heard about it. You know, I it's funny. Back in the cable days, a lot of people said I would prefer an a la carte option to cable. You know, instead of paying $60 a month, $100 a month, whatever the hell cable costs, and getting 150 channels, only three of which I actually watch, I'd rather just pay a smaller fee for the individual channels that I actually want to watch. That's kind of come true now with all the myriad streaming services that we have to juggle. Because we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have Amazon Prime, we have DC Universe, or HBO Go, which I guess includes that and a bunch of other stuff. We've got Shudder, which is the horror streaming service. We've got Filmstruck. No, I'm sorry, not Filmstruck anymore. Criterion Channel, which is the Criterion stuff, and on and on and on. So coming, we'll have the Disney streaming service soon. So in a way, we're actually getting that cable a la carte thing that we all always wanted, right? And now the what everyone's complaining about is like, I don't want to pay for a million different streaming services. I just want access to everything. We are never happy. Facebook has a streaming service. What the hell does it stream? Other than terror attacks. Facebook. Um, AT&T merged with Time Warner. So, oh yeah, okay. Well, yeah, sure. Disney, HBO Max, and Netflix will be the big three. I wouldn't discount Hulu and Amazon Prime, but yeah, certainly the bigger ones. You are sub to Verve. What's Verve? What's VRV? Is it a is it like Nintendo TV? Remember Nintendo TV on the Wii U, which would collate all of your streaming services. So it's essentially you'd type in the show you want to watch, and it would search through all of your services and go, the show you want to watch is on at 6 p.m. on cable TV, but it's also available on Hulu and Netflix. And then Nintendo shut it down because nobody used it. It was actually kind of cool. I didn't use it, but it was a cool idea. I still didn't use it. No one used it, but it was kind of neat. But nobody wanted it, so. Crunchyroll, High Dive, mostly anime stuff. Oh, okay. I think you've mentioned that before, so it's mildly familiar. So, speaking of anime, Rooster Teeth, yeah. Um, I think Crunchyroll's. I think the latest season of Attack on Titan is done until they make more. I had read the manga up to a certain point a while back, and the current season on Crunchyroll went a little bit further than where I left off in the manga, which I think is almost done, but still going. Still enjoying Attack on Titan. Um, be interesting to see where it goes. I still have Let me see. How do I want to say this? So the basic premise, if you don't know, is there's a civilization. Humanity now lives in one spot, surrounded by a gigantic 50-meter wall, right? Because outside are titans, which are big, and these essentially these giant humanoid creatures that eat anything they can get their hands on, eat any person they can get their hands on. So humanity at some point built really big walls, and now they live behind the walls, away from the Titans, so they don't get eaten. Well, one day, a humongous Titan, like 100 meters tall, kicks a hole in the damn wall, and all the Titans come in. Chaos ensues. So the show is how the people deal with the flood of Titans, and it gets more complicated. They find out the entity that released the Titans in the first place. And we have finally, after 60 episodes, and 80, 90 chapters of manga, finally found out what's actually happening. You know, who the bad guys are, what they want, why they're doing it. And I hope there's more to it, because so far it's a bit, it's kind of unsatisfying. You know, uh, so much, so many episodes of the show and chapters of the manga as I was reading it, I guess. I'd read it and I enjoy it, but I'd constantly be asking, okay, but what's the point? Like, why are the bad guys doing this? What's in it for them? Like, just why? What's your justification? What do you get at? Why? Why bother? These people are sitting out there in the middle of nowhere doing literally nothing. What's the point? You could just leave them the hell alone. And okay, at some point you kill them all. And that benefits you. I guess there's a resource under the town, but again, it so far it's not particularly satisfying, but But still a fun show. I mean, 60 episodes or so. I'm kind of invested at this point to see where it goes. Very few shows I think you can watch dozens and dozens of episodes and just say, ah, I'm out. you know, I mean, even if something has a bad season, you'll usually plow through just to see where it goes. Never got into Attack on Titan, huh? Hmm. Yeah, I enjoy it. Oh, I did watch Cells at Work, I think is what it's called. Um, because I remember a couple of people in the chat recommending that a while back. So I watched the first episode of that, and not for me. I didn't like it. It was boring. You are on MHA at the moment. I know this one. It's nope, nope, nope. I don't know MHA. Is it the superhero one that I don't like because I watched one episode and didn't like it? I got you hooked on the Promised Neverland. Thanks, said sarcastically. All right, well, that was, I think, a recommendation for Matthew or someone else in the chat. Yeah, I really quite liked Promised Neverland. If I'm remembering correctly, I felt that it's like a 12 episode show that should have been like 15, and the production staff thought they had 15, but they got to like episode 10 and realized they only had 12 and they needed to wrap it up in 2 episodes. um, Steel Angel Kurumi, that's an old show. I actually have Steel Angel Kurumi. So I've seen Steel Angel Kurumi. It's all right. It's fun enough. Um, isn't it like something Hero Academia or something like that? Am I thinking of the right show, Matthew? Um, one show that I did a debut review for was the latest iteration of Lupin the Third, and I saw the preview for the 3D CG animated Lupin the Third. I was like, I should actually watch the rest of that because it's pretty. Because I enjoyed the first episode. Um, just don't have a whole hell of a lot of time. My Hero Academia. Yeah, I was really close. Um, another season of Promise Neverland. Well, that's good because it ends on, I wouldn't say a cliffhanger, but it does end in a place where it's like, there's more story here. Um, so who's anxious to go see Cats? Um, why don't they? I think it'd be. Why don't they just do cats with actual cats, like cats? Use the technology that brings all the animals to life in the Lion King remake, and do cats with actual photorealistic cats. Then you can still move their mouths like they do in the Lion King, which I didn't see, but I saw the trailers. Um, would that be better, worse? I don't know. I don't think Cats is very good in the first place. I was talking with a workmate about Cats, and I told her that there's a reason that no one that people remember only one song from Cats, and she goes, "Memory." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the only song people, unless they're like hardcore Cats fans. Most people casually only know Memory, and that's because the rest of the songs aren't that great. Cats is not very good." Um, and I went on to talk to her. I'm like, "But you look at something like Oklahoma." I said, "Look, you can only name Memory from Cats, and you're a fan of Cats." She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, but by comparison, how many tunes can you name from Oklahoma?" She goes, "None." I'm like, Oklahoma? Surely you can think of one song in Oklahoma where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, waving wheat, smell sweet. Wind comes right behind the ranch. I'm like, really? No, West Side Story? Uh-uh. So yeah, I guess I was wrong. Wrong on that one. Jordan, that's an incredible idea. They should make a sequel to Cats. Dogs. It should be in a whole franchise. Just keep, the third one is bearded lizards, and then snakes and ferrets and box turtles. So really, and it's like 7 hours long because all the characters are really slow. That'd be great. So I think Zachary is going to be gone for a couple of weeks because of his move. So just gonna be you and me for a couple of weeks there, friends. So she doesn't know any songs from Chicago. Um, I'm sure she probably I probably should have used Chicago because she was talking about it the other day. Um, I was working on something. I had my headphones on, but I can still hear. I wish I couldn't, but they were talking about the Chicago, and they were trying to think of the name of the song. I'm like, Cell Block Tango. I'm like, I'll go back to my work now. Sorry, but it's what it's called. So yeah, she could probably is if she couldn't name them, she's at least familiar with more from Chicago. So, yay, show tunes. Let's see. They're doing a new production of. Speaking of show tunes, they're doing a new production of Little Shop of Horrors. Which, hey, great! I've never seen a. I've only seen the Frank Oz movie from '86 with Ellen Green, Rick Moranis. It's one of my top five favorite movies of all time. I'd love to see the stage play at some point just to see how it's done. Um, this has I don't recognize any of the cast. They said one person's from Glee, which I've never seen. And they say we have a new concept for the plant. I'm like, great. Do you have any pictures? No. Okay. Doesn't really mean much to me. So yeah, it's interesting because I think Levi Stubbs his turn as Audrey 2 in the Frank Oz movie is like it's the definitive version of that plant. It's kind of like how everyone who does Harley Quinn essentially does what's I think Arlene Sorkin. Uh, they're doing the Batman animated series version. It's and to an extent, not quite the same extent, but to an extent, everyone who does the Joker kind of does Mark Hamill's Joker. Um, it's like that's just the definitive voice now. So it'll be interesting to see. Well, I'll probably never see it, but I'd be interested to hear what this new concept for Audrey 2 is, and if the performer patterns her performance after Levi Stubbs, or if she does something entirely unique with the performance. Jordan says, I know you've done some small singing stuff on stage, but have you thought of acting or stand up? Um, I have not done any plays since college. It's a little after college. Um, and I haven't done any singing really in 7, 8 years. Um, but I've done stage performances. Stand up, no, I'm too late. I don't have the time to write my own material. I'm comfortable talking in front of crowds. Like I was the spokesperson for my quartet. I often did MC spots for the various chorus shows I did. Um, I just comfortable talking in front of large audiences, and for some reason, I get a decent response from the audiences I yammer at. Who knows why? Um, always really liked stage performance, whether I'm just singing or acting in a play, and I've done one musical. I'm trying to think if I've done more than one musical. Yeah, I think I've only done one actual musical. and it was How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I played the boss, Mr. Bigley. I forget what his name is, but really the difficult part for me for singing and musicals is the deeper voice, is because I generally can't sing high enough to sing the melody for um, most songs. In fact, playing Mr. whatever his name is in How to Succeed in Business, that was a stretch for me because the songs were higher than my voice really wants to sing. And I mean, there's one song. It's like up in stand old ivy, stand firm and strong. Yes, way up in this register here. So oh, there's a love song too. It's like, where will I find a treasure? Blah da 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 da. It's up in here. So I thought it would be really weird if I played the character in my normal register. I'd be standing on stage, projecting out into the audience at this register, and then suddenly, where will I find a treasure? Yeah, it's just weird. So I had to develop a voice for that character that was not my own, and I ended up affecting kind of a southern accent and speaking up here a little bit because I was thinking of kind of because he's supposed to be a rich dude, and I was thinking, all right, Southern oil tycoon or something, and it was pretty funny when I first did that in rehearsal. Everyone was rolling around on the ground laughing. It's not an accurate accent at all. Accent at all. It's also in like high school, but it's a comedy, so playing something that broad. Hopefully, it wasn't insulting to anyone who lives in Texas or something. That would make me feel bad, but yeah, it's fun. I could probably make bank on doing cover songs on YouTube. Hmm. I don't know what I'd cover though, because there's not a whole heck of a lot I can sing. See, when I sing, I sing in a group. I sing the bass part because I can't sing the melody very well. Um, I also don't have. While I can sing some melodies, like let's see, what's a good polecat that has a ah like Heart of My Heart. That's let me see if I can remember the melody to that. Heart of my heart, I love you. You know, I don't have a very attractive melody voice. Um, so, but I can sing the Lord Mayor. Heart of my heart, I love you. Life would be not without you. Yeah. So, I'm not a soloist covering songs. I could do like a barbershop arrangement of music, but then I'd need to get someone else to sing the other three parts. So, live in California, be able to make bank if I did small comedy shows around the area with the help of, yeah, I don't know. It's something to consider. I consider myself a comedian in some extent. A lot of the videos I've done have been specifically written to be funny, and I think I've been somewhat successful at that. So, but look at that. It's 8 o'clock. So that's been an hour of me yammering and singing at you. So, hope you enjoyed. Gonna have to figure out. Oh, by the way, if anyone has any suggestions, additional suggestions rather for platforms or that Zachary and I can use to do a video podcast, hey, tweet them at me or YouTube comment at me something because gonna have to figure something out because Google Hangouts is going bye bye. Which is a shame because I know of a couple solutions, but like, I mean, you could do a Skype video call, but as far as I know, Skype doesn't do the same thing where it automatically switches between the views and outputs that automatically. it just here's a window with video, here's a window with video. It's up to you to use another program to capture those two images and output them to wherever you're streaming to. And that's that's a lot of work. A lot can go wrong. I mean, you can do it, and we've done it before, but I'd rather not manually switch between camera angles. And I don't. I would prefer not to, just have the two image, Zachary on one side and me on the other constantly. I like the switching between the cameras that Google Hangouts does. So, if anyone knows of any substitute program we can use, let me know. But that will be all for this week. So, hey, thanks everyone for dropping by and keeping me company. Hope you had a nice time, and I'll see you back here next week. In the meantime, you can Google my name. I could do Sweet Low. Oh, swing low, yeah, swing low, sweet chariot. Come forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot. Yeah, come forth, carry me home. Yeah, I can do some like uh 16 ton, Tennessee Ernie Ford, Some people say a man is made out of mud. A poor man's made him 16 tons. What he getting a day older and deeper in debt, saying, Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can go all my soul to the company store. You know, I can do stuff like that, but with a lower registered voice, my selection of melodies is a little limited. Um, but oh well. Anyway, Eisen is how you spell my last name. Plug it in YouTube. You can find my videos. I should have at least something new tomorrow sometime. Probably a debut review or something like that. And follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen. So that's it for me. I'll see y'all next week. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.